Hello and welcome back. So let's move on to bring our height map to Substance Designer, and we can go there and start to define the actual texturing, or at least the material distribution layers inside of Designer. So what we do here is create a export terrain and connect that to here. And then we can double click to open that and define the file format. We're going to go for a 16-bit. And then I'm going to put it in here, name it height from Instantura. And hit save. Export now. And close. Let me double click to open that again, but this time I'm going to change the format to raw format, because that's the game engine actually understand. So we need two formats: TIFF for Substance, raw for game engine, and then export again and hit close. All right, now back here to Substance Designer. I'm gonna go for a file, new substance. Okay, and I'm gonna go for a new graph here. Actually, the physical base, that's a preset I was using, but we can do this one just to show you everything from scratch. Call this guy mountain. Okay, mountains, and hit OK. All right, so what we do here is go to right click and then add a bitmap from file, and then load that terrain from Instantura, right? Link resource. Now that's gonna be our height map, and you connect that to the hat. Okay, I'm gonna change my scene to a plane harass so we can see it. We also wanted to convert this into a normal map and also an ambient occlusion. So let me grab this land, hit tab, and type in transformation 2D to act as a reroute, and then I can create a normal over here, and that goes to the normal here, and we can change the intensity to be like 30 here to make the normal more visible. Okay, and we can also go define the roughness and metallic. For metallic, I'm gonna create a uniform color, right, and make it just grayscale and black. For the roughness, Control C, Control V, and goes also with the same uniform color, but I'm going to change it to be something bright. Okay, and color will be for now temporarily also maybe the same image here. Okay, and then we can also go create a ambient occlusion. Actually not there, but here, and then I can change the depth to make it a little bit more stronger, and then we can connect that to a duplicated output. So what I do is grab the hat, Control C, Control V, and then this guy, I'm going to change the usage to AO, ambient occlusion. Right mouse button, drag it to the viewport, and use that as AO, and the results, the ambient occlusion result actually goes to there. If I can ever do that. Let me delete that input. Alt click maybe and connect that over there. Huh, interesting. It doesn't allow me to do that. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna change that from height to AO. Maybe that's what's happening, because it doesn't know that. Doesn't really. Huh, because they're the same thing for somehow. Oh well, don't know what that is. I'm gonna create a new output. Maybe there's some bug. And no problem, right? I just need to create my own AO and then add an atom and use it as ambient occlusion. Make sure that I can connect. Oh, you know what? I'm changing the connection mode. I'm changed that to standard. Yeah, that's why. And right mouse button, drag it over here, and ambient occlusion. Anyway, so one more thing I want to do here is go to material, defaults, and definition here, physically based, tessellation. Let's change the scale to 25 to crack up the mountain to get the original height back. Okay. All right. And yeah, I think that's the basic setup to have those things all in Substance Designer now. Okay, you make them just a bit brighter. Okay, let me also drag this guy over here so we can see the 3D with a bigger viewport. Okay, so this is our hat map now inside of Substance. What I want to do is use a bunch of masks to determine where do I want to have mud and where do I want to have the rock, or where do I want to have the grass and rock, basically, right? You can create multiple layers, but just to keep things simple, right, and talk about basically the workflow, I'm just gonna create 2 layers. So right click and add a node. I'm gonna add a actually just hit tab button and say uniform color here, and Control D to duplicate that, and also create a blend to blend those 2 things together. Okay, we can temporarily use our hat map, and that goes to the base color, and we can double click or actually double click here to change the color to be something brighter. You can see that's the mountain top. Okay, and the bottom one can be something darker or even a green one. Okay, as to indicate that's the grassland or whatever. Okay, but that's not very looks not very convincing, because you know, we have all those things. We have the grass and the rock, but they have a really blurry gradient, right? So instead of using this hat as the information, what I'm gonna do here is actually I want to change that to a mud. I think mud would make a little bit more sense, or sand. So what I'm gonna do here is back to Instantera. I can ask for some of the effect from the hydraulic erosion. One particular will be actually, let me go create a export terrain. What's happening here? This one is the water accumulation, which indicates those little strands of masks or details. That this is going to be the mask for that. I connect that to the export terrain. I'm going to double click. Right, go to TIFF, and then we can call this guy water accumulation mask, and hit save, and then export now. Now this new bitmap, if I go ahead and add that in from file and grab this guy in linked resource, you can see what that is, right? That's basically those little edges, right? The little pieces that are actually more like the sand that is slipping down, like covering part of the mountain, right? That can generate the mask this can generate the mask for those. So what I do here is create a histogram scan, and then I'm gonna use that to get a mask. Okay, change contrast. Okay, and that goes to the mask here, and you can see what I have. Actually, I got the flipped result, so I can flip those 2 things. Okay, now I do have the rock and then the sand beneath it. We can also, of course, change the position of that to make it more or less. We can change the contrast to make it a little bit more blurry or more contrast. All right, so now we have a way to extract all those things. Now we can go ahead and get all these other things, like from the rock erosion. If you don't know what they are, you can right click, create node, and then mask generation, mask from height. We can connect that to the mask from height to see the mask. Okay, change that to gradient. You can see what that is. Okay, you can see what that is here also. It's nothing. How about this guy? This guy has a little bit of information. Okay, I wonder what that rock erosion would give me, but maybe very little. Yeah, they're not very prominent except that water, so maybe not using those informations this time. Don't think they're gonna make a huge difference, but we could always try, right? So yeah. Anyway, so now if I were to, you know, create my landscape inside of the game engine, I can use this mask to determine where do I want to have rock and where do I want to have dirt. Okay, So I think I can make it just a bit more. Find the correct balance, maybe a little bit more contrast. Okay. All right, don't know if this is gonna be looking really interesting. That might be actually pretty interesting, I guess. We'll have to see eventually. We can change the color to see if we can get a better combination. Yeah, maybe something like this would make more sense. Anyway, just something to do, right? All right, so after this, then we can move on to the next stage, bring the actual head map into game engine. And then we create a bunch of materials for maybe just for now 2 materials, right? The rock and the sand. And then we use those 2 things, or the mud, I'm not sure yet. I use those 2 materials, apply that onto the terrain, and use this guy to generate a splat map to replace the splat map of the terrain. All right, let's move on to those things in the next couple of videos. Okay, see you next time.